tail lamps, oh, that's just like a blood red. But these are, they look good. What's going on, guys? Aloha, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name's Chad Oleva. This is the Lone Star Hawaiian Garage. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. We are back with the Silverado today. You guys have been asking for it, and finally, the Silverado is getting the attention it really needs. So to start this one off, we need to warm up the truck. So we're gonna go ahead and warm this thing up, literally. I cannot get over how good this garage now looks with the lighting. It's amazing. But back with the Silverado, what we're working on today is something you have been asking for forever. And to be honest and transparently, I've actually had this part for a while, just haven't had time to put it in yet, because not only are we replacing that third brake light with an aftermarket one to match my taillights that look phenomenal, we're actually going to be replacing my roof wrap as well. This was my first whack at wrapping anything, and I think I did okay, but a year and a half later, we have some serious bubbling going on, and yeah. And it's cracked pretty bad because of the cold weather and the hot weather we get here in Texas. I guess I just didn't, I stretched it too much. So this is coming off and being replaced with an all new wrap, and you'll see what that is today. But in addition to that, we are replacing this ugly thing as well. All right, so that's what's on the plan today, guys. But before we even do that, we got to get the roof warmed up quite a bit, because taking that off is going to be a pain in the butt. But if it's hot or if it's warm, it makes it a little bit easier. So let's cue the time lapse and go. So now that the truck's been sitting in the sunlight for about an hour now, the roof's gonna be warm enough to pull that back. Now you can pull back wrap when it's not warm, it's just a lot easier when that adhesive heats up. I'm also remembering I have this shark fin antenna here at the top, so I'm gonna have to go in, pull back the headliner, unscrew that antenna. Also, my third brake light is gonna come out because I'm replacing this. Pull this out. Once those two things are off, I can go ahead and pick a corner, start pulling, and I'm really hoping this comes off easily. I'm gonna do this all out here so it stays somewhat warm to the touch, keeps that adhesive nice and warm. Hopefully this is an easy process, but we'll see. If you're looking on how to remove that shark fin, much easier. Remove the sun visor here. There's 3 Torx bolts, 1 bolt there at the pillar, 1 bolt here, and then you're able to move this headliner down enough to get your arm in there. And when you get your arm in there, you see that little bit of light, that is where the shark fin antenna sits. Now just get a 10mm wrench. Here's that bracket piece that came out. When you've done this before and made a video on it, it's actually convenient because you forget how it's done and then you remember how to do it. And I didn't realize this wrap up top is 2.5 years old. I did this video in September of 2017. Right now it's March of 2020. So again, 2.5 years, and this is what the wrap looks like. I'm actually really surprised how well this lasted. It's lasted really well. This is Vivint vinyl, not too crazy of a brand. And yeah, 2.5 years later, the only thing that's bad is that cracked up over there, and it's probably because I overstretched it when I installed it. Now that everything is out, let's go ahead and start the fun task of pulling the wrap off. I actually just pulled this corner off real quick to see how difficult this project was going to be, and it looks like it's going to be kind of pleasing because it wasn't too hard. That was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So I'm super happy right now, except for the fact that I am finding some rust underneath that antenna. I guess we're not just doing a wrap today, we're going to have to do some body work as well. And it looks like the previous owner, I guess they pulled this off before as well. And he got a little crazy with a screwdriver or something, because this is all torn up. Now we're going to move the Charger out of the garage and put the truck into Paradise Cove. I think that's going to be the name, guys. think that's the name. This is Paradise Cove, which is our working bay. Truck, Paradise Cove, Charger. Sorry, you're out. She fits. Good morning. The little man wouldn't take a nap, so he went for a drive, in which he passed out in the first, what, 2 minutes? Yeah, 3 minutes? Okay, so the Charger's back in the garage, truck's in Paradise Cove, and in the hour I was outside, I got crapped on by a bird. I freaking hate birds. I don't know what they are, they just love my cars. But what we're working on first is the antenna. Unfortunately, we do need to repair this spot before you get to wrapping. And what this is some kind of like silicone gasket maker, wherever the heck, I don't know what this is. But we're gonna scrape it off, and to be honest, this is a complete waste of space. I don't have GPS, I don't have OnStar. So this is literally just to cover that hole. We're gonna repair this up, clean it up, and throw some paint on it, and then we'll get to wrapping. I know you're not supposed to wrap over top with freshly coated paint, but it's really not gonna matter. I don't plan on removing this wrap for a while. And if it removes the paint with the wrap when I eventually do, I'll just prepare it again, it's fine. So some good news, guys. Fortunately, it was just surface rust. We have a few spots we still got to hit a second time. But basically, we're just sanding off the rust for now, hitting with some primer, gonna sand the primer, and I actually have the dark Ming blue metallic, which paint matches my truck, and we're gonna paint this area in the dark Ming blue metallic. What I'll do is sand this again, primer, sand the primer. I'm gonna pull the tape off, go a little bit further with the square, and then hit it with the paint. It's not gonna match perfectly the roof of the truck, but that's not gonna matter because we're wrapping it anyways. The main thing is to cover up the rust, repair the rust, cover it up with some protection, that way it doesn't continue and spread. All right, did the best we can. We're gonna let that sit and cure for a second, put it in the sun, and we'll be back to do the wrap. That's a wrap for now, for like 10 seconds, and then. All right, guys, we're about ready to lay the wrap. I went ahead and hit the roof with some alcohol. I did actually about 3 passes on it to make sure it was nice and clean. You can kind of see the current condition of my roof. You see a lot of scratches and scuffs. Funny story here. Now, parking structures in Hawaii aren't really meant for full-size trucks, and we may have cut it a little close to the entryway. So yeah, we got a bunch of scrapes and scratches all over the roof, which is kind of part of the reason I wrapped this in the first place. We're gonna get the wrap, lay it on there, and get to the fun part of this. What I'm gonna do this time, I'm actually gonna pull the wrap back about halfway and work the front and make sure that adheres correctly, get all the air bubbles out, and work my way back. Last time I did this, I went ahead and just pulled the backing out completely, which made it really a nightmare to kind of adjust and move around, and it actually didn't like the way the first time, so I pulled it back up and kind of redid the whole thing. It took forever. So this time, I'm gonna see how this goes. I'm gonna pull the backing here, pull that back to about halfway, and then make sure this front section is good. And then once that's done, I'll pull the rest of it out and then work the back half. Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier, but we're gonna see. All right, so the good news is this is gonna be a lot smoother than it was last time because I've now wrapped, I think, 4 different things, so I'm obviously an expert. So what I'm doing this time, which I didn't do last time, was work in triangles. Essentially find the most protruding area, the most curvature area right now, which is this piece here, and constantly work in triangles. For example, if you see an area bunching up, so for example right there, you're starting to see this bunch up, this is going to be the top point of your triangle. Now get the two bottom points and then you pull. Now when you pull in those opposite directions, which will smooth out these wrinkles here, and it'll keep that from creasing up. But what I actually did crease it when I was applying it. So I'm going to get my heat gun out and heat that up so it repairs itself, and then go back to doing it. But essentially that part's already done, guys. But you guys are gonna go to a time lapse, so you don't sit here all day long with me. We're making progress, slowly but surely, guys. So I will tell you, if you struggle or have, difficulties wrapping things and you get frustrated, just keep going, guys, because you actually get better as time goes on. And yes, I've only wrapped really simple things like a really flat roof with some channels and then the front grille. But I'll tell you, this second time around doing this roof, it's so much easier by using different techniques. Now, we are pretty much through 1/3 of the roof. We started to see some of these channels coming through. I'm doing my best not to stretch it too much to get into these channels. I'm trying to use some of the wrap to get down in this channel and then continue to the outside. Now, typically you can stretch wrap 25 to 30%. If you do any more, then typically you're gonna have either discoloration or it's gonna be damaged. And typically towards the end of doing wraps, you use heat to really contour these corners and get it to adhere really well. Or you could use heat to get in those difficult areas. I'm gonna do my best not to use heat until the very, very end. But here we are, guys. Progress, progress, progress. All right, guys, that's almost a wrap. The top is completely done. We've got the channels all taken care of. The only issue I did run into was right here. We do have bubbling, and I realized that it's actually not air in there. Actually, the paint itself up in that channel actually detached itself. So we have paint chipping away just right here. So really not, I'm not gonna be able to do anything about this in particular, but the rest of it is just flawless and perfect. I'm super happy with the finish, and I really like the satin a lot better than the matte. It looks so much more, I know it's so subtle, but I notice it, and I really like the sheen of the satin versus that matte. So what we're gonna do now is go along the edges and cut very carefully to tuck this up underneath the weather stripping. So just get an X-Acto knife, cut real careful, go along, tuck it under the weather stripping, and those you cannot tuck under the weather stripping, get heat it up, and kind of shrink it up underneath this area here. So that's what we're gonna do now. But before we do that, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of our new third brake light. Check that out. That is gonna look so good replacing this. All right, so now it's on there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that screw back on the inside here. As it sets up, it should seal around it as well, and it should be good. Again, if it goes bad, I can just pull it up with the wrap.
But it should be just fine. It's got a rubber seal at the bottom, and now it has a silicone as a kind of a double layer to keep the water out. And again, the whole reason we sanded that down, threw paint on it, and wrapped over the top of it, to protect it from rust. It was beginning to rust, so we got a new fresh coat of paint on it, got rid of the rust. Now we have silicone to protect it as well. So I'm gonna call that a job well done. Would you say that, bud?
Yes, sir.
It is now finally time to replace the old third brake light. So here we have our new one. Oh my goodness, this is gorgeous. LED versus, well, this used to be halogen. We converted it to LED with lost fit LEDs. We have those 2 red ones in there and these 2 super bright white ones. I am going to miss how bright these truly were, but we're going for more aesthetics versus functionality on a third brake light, because again, it is the third brake light. There's not a lot of function to it. And when it comes to light output through the rear, we have plenty. It is time. Oh, you got it? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So here is our new third brake light. It's got a stamped DOT, so it is, in fact, DOT, and I know there's no red in here, but this actually lights up red when you hit the brakes. So similar to my tail lights, this is gonna match perfectly. It also has LEDs here at the top, and these should be for the cargo lamp. So you have an extremely bright cargo lamp in addition to the third brake light being red. So we're gonna plug this sucker in. This plugs in straight to your OEM connector. Simple as this, and we are plugged in. Simple as that, we're done. Okay, so we're installed. It looks okay. Not extremely thrilled with the quality of this because it is super knockoff. I've been actually carrying this around for several months and I haven't put it in yet, so we're finally doing it, and I'm just not super happy. It looks really cool, but it's super cheap, and even like the DOT stamp is upside down. Like whoever manufactured this probably intended this to go this way, but for the shape and build of it, that's the way it goes. But that's gonna do, guys. It looks really good. It's gonna match my tail lights. So here we have my tail lights. I love these tail lamps. I kind of want to paint match the inside. We'll get there eventually. But now the third brake light is no longer a glaring red ugly light. It's now kind of tied in perfectly as far as the design goes. Now the question is, does it even work? That's the important part. Okay, so that's gonna do for the brake, and let's take a look. We have our brake lights on currently. Oh, that looks good. Okay, we have our tail lamps on. These are my brake lights. Now look at this. Oh, that looks so incredibly good. Oh, that's just like a blood red. Look at that. Boom. That is gonna look phenomenal. So next up, we're gonna test the cargo lamp aspect. And we have a cargo lamp. Now I'll tell you, these are not as bright as the Lost Fits, but they look good. Aesthetically, it looks great, but we'll see how long this truly lasts. The build quality really wasn't that great, but dang, it looks really good. Okay. Guys, we have the roof rewrapped. We have the third brake light in. Aesthetically, this is complete. So let's kick to the cinematic part, which we always do.
Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to come
This has turned out so well. It looks so epic. Now the third brake light, that was a long time coming. I needed to do that for a while. I also need to clean up quite a bit. Now it's gonna be hard to see it in the camera, but there's a big difference I can see personally between the matte and the satin finish on the roof wrap. The satin pulls out these aggressive channels so much better. This looks so much better. And again, just a subtle difference, but it's all the subtle details that make this truck really what it is. Super stoked on that. The third brake light, long time coming on this. We have the LED cargo lamps and the red light here as well. Now, when that's not illuminated, it is white. It's gonna kind of blend in real nice to the roof as well. And also match my tail lamps here. Now, I'm gonna say one thing. I do need your help real quick, so pay attention here. I need your help in the comments below on this. We have our chrome bumpers. I hate them. I know you guys hate them. You comment on them all the time. So we're gonna do one of three things. We can either wrap them a satin black to match the roof, we can wrap them a gloss black to match the front bumper, or we can paint match these bumpers. So comments below, whatever has the most comments is probably what we're gonna do. So comment below whether we are wrapping it satin black, wrapping it gloss black, or paint matching these chrome bumpers. So let me know, comments below. Thank you again so much for tuning in for today's video and joining me in this little piece of paradise that I call the Lone Star Hawaiian Garage. But until next time, guys, if y'all enjoyed this one, be sure to smash that like button below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, join the Lone Star Hawaiian family, subscribe as well. But until next time, we'll see you in a few days for the next video. As always, aloha.